I've been labeled plenty of things over the years. Cowboy, sheriff, troublemaker. But never, not a single time, a thief. So when Mrs. Sterling suddenly screamed across that spotless stable yard, demanding an immediate search of her belongings, my stomach dropped. The item in question was a $20,000 Rolex. And the accused was my 17-year-old daughter, Maya, a kid who'd been cleaning stalls all summer for $5 an hour. When Sterling called Maya over, my daughter didn't flinch. She stood firm and said one word. No, that word hit harder than any riding crop. Sterling's face, usually cold and controlled, almost cracked in half. All she saw was defiance. And when her hand shot toward her phone, fingers shaking, I knew she was about to pull what she thought was her strongest move. Fine, she snapped. You want to be difficult? The irony was almost laughable. The real authority she was about to call was already there, sitting 20 yards away on a quarter horse named Whiskey, watching quietly from the shade. The Royal Hooves Equestrian Club loved to show off. Their white vinyl fencing cost more per foot than my first pickup truck. On their side, grass so green it looked fake. On my side, plain red clay that stuck to your boots and told the truth about where you'd been. I was technically off duty. I'd promised Maya I'd give her room. She wanted to prove she could hold a job without her dad hovering nearby. So I stayed back, letting the heat shimmer over the parking lot, hidden behind a massive oak tree that sat right on the property line. Their barns looked like churches, all marble floors and shiny brass. Maya didn't care about any of that. She was saving for her first car, working harder than anyone there. She stood near the grooming bay, shovel in one hand, muck bucket in the other, 17 years old, soaked in sweat, unafraid of dirt or effort. I watched her wipe her forehead with her sleeve. That's when Sterling burst out of the air-conditioned clubhouse, heels snapping against the concrete like a warning drum. She carried a riding crop, not for horses but to point at people. My instincts tightened. I wanted Maya to handle her own boss, but something wasn't right. Sterling closed in fast, stepping into my daughter's space. Maya stumbled back, almost losing her balance. Then came the accusation. You stole my Rolex. Maya tried to explain she'd been in the aisle all morning. Sterling didn't care. She demanded the watch, threatening to destroy Maya's future before it even began. Then she grabbed for her arm, trying to drag her toward the tack room alone. She was about to search a minor's belongings, maybe even her body without a parent present, over a missing watch. I saw Maya's hand tighten around the shovel. It was shaking. But her chin stayed up. No, she said again. Louder. No. To Sterling that word was unforgivable. Truth didn't matter to her. Control did. Her face twisted. My rules are the law, she yelled, lunging for Maya's arm. That was it. I nudged Whiskey forward and crossed the shallow ditch in one smooth move. Steel-shod hooves hit the concrete hard. Clack, clack, clack. The sound echoed through the stables and cut everything else dead silent. Sterling spun around and nearly collapsed when she saw a 1,200-pound horse blocking her path. I sat tall in the saddle, hat low, sunglasses hiding my eyes. My work shirt was stained with oil and sweat. My jeans were faded and worn at the knees. To her, I was just some dirty cowboy who didn't belong. I flicked my toothpick onto her perfect concrete floor. Is there a problem? I asked, calm and steady. Almost bored. That tone rattled her more than shouting ever could. Instead of backing down, she went into full performance mode, waving at the small crowd starting to gather. Get that horse out of my facility, she shouted. And take your little thief with you. She expected fear. An apology. A retreat. She got silence. I didn't move. I didn't blink. That's when she realized force wouldn't work. Her hand shot to her phone. The newest model, leather case, finger hovering over the screen. You think you scare me? She sneered. You think because you're big and dirty you can threaten a woman? I'll make sure you never work in this county again. Then she dialed 911. Her entire attitude flipped. Voice shaking. Breathing fast. Acting terrified. I need help immediately, she said. I'm being attacked. I didn't move an inch. Maya started to speak, but I raised one finger. Let her keep talking, I said quietly. Never stop someone when they are digging their own hole. Sterling launched into a wild story for the dispatcher. Man on a horse. Threats. Maybe a gun. Every sentence made things worse. False reports. Was. Pushing it straight into felony territory. She was gambling that no one would challenge her version of events. The crowd kept growing. Phones came out. Cameras rolling. Before anyone checked a single fact, we were already being painted as the bad guys. He's dangerous. He attacked Maya. Sterling shouted, acting like the victim, soaking up the attention. A guy in a blue polo stepped forward. "You need to get off that horse, man. Cops are coming." I didn't flinch. "I'll stay right here. You might want to step back. This is a police matter now." He backed away fast, melting into the crowd. I leaned toward Maya. "You did nothing wrong. You held your ground. Stay calm. Let me handle this." Sterling paced back and forth, hungry for sirens. For authority. For control. She thought she had called in protection. She had no clue she had called in a storm instead. Sirens echoed down the street. Her face lit up. "Hear that? That's the sound of consequences." "Yes, ma'am," I said under my breath. "It sure is." City police arrived first. Tires screeching. Doors slamming. Adrenaline everywhere. 2 officers jumped out. Miller was loud and aggressive, already gripping his holster. Davis stood back, uneasy, watching. They saw exactly what Sterling wanted them to see. A dirty cowboy threatening a helpless woman. "Police. Step away from the woman," Miller shouted. Sterling grabbed onto him, crying. "He has a gun. He threatened me." Miller snapped his head toward me. "Sir, show me your hands." "Get off the horse now." My hands stayed visible on the saddle. "There is no gun, officer. The only weapon here is her imagination." He wasn't listening. "Get down now. You're under arrest for terroristic threats and trespassing." I pointed toward the utility markers. "I'm standing on an easement. I'm protecting my child from an unlawful situation. You allowed her to search my daughter. That makes you an accessory to a felony. Section 1983 Civil Rights Act." Miller's face flushed red. His taser hand shook. Sterling smiled. "Turn around." On the ground. Maya looked at me, scared. I had to slow this down. Horse. Taser. Nervous cop. Terrified kid. That ends badly. "All right," I said, raising my hands. I stepped down, boots hitting concrete. I stood there calm and solid, taller than Miller, not backing down. "You're making a mistake," I said evenly. "A career-ending one." "Shut up." He shoved me into my horse and locked the cuffs tight. Right then I let him think he'd won. Because the moment those cuffs clicked, the trap was set. Miller started reading off charges. Resisting. Disorderly conduct. Trespassing. Loud enough for the crowd to hear. I stayed quiet and let the moment speak for itself. Sterling strutted over, tapping her riding crop against my chest. "I always win. Money is the law here." She turned and reached for Maya. "We'll continue recovering my property." That was the line. Something inside me broke. I used my command voice. 20 years of riot lines behind it. "Officer Davis," I thundered, the air going still. Everything froze. "Step away from your partner." Davis went pale and actually looked at me. Really looked. "You are witnessing felony deprivation of rights under color of law," I said. "You want to go to federal prison today, son?" He swallowed hard. Maybe we should wait." He stammered. "Go to my horse. Left saddlebag. Open it." Miller stepped in fast. "Don't do it. He's playing you." "It's not a weapon," I said calmly. "This is the end of your career, Miller." Davis, hands shaking, opened the bag. He pulled out a navy blue windbreaker with bright yellow reflective stripes. Across the back in bold letters it read Sheriff. A gold star badge was pinned to the chest. Davis froze, then whispered, "Oh my God. Miller, you arrested the sheriff." Sterling screamed, "It's fake. He bought it online." Davis didn't even look at her. "It's real. This is Sheriff Vance. County Commander." Right then my deputies rolled in. Gravel crunched. Boots hit the ground. Big men, trained and focused, moving fast. "Drop the weapon," Sergeant Harrison ordered. Miller's taser hit the dirt. Davis rushed to unlock my cuffs. I took my badge, clipped it to my filthy shirt, and walked straight toward Sterling. She was pale now, shaking. "You called 911. You demanded the law," I said. "Well, Mrs. Sterling, I am the law. Now let's talk about trespassing." Sterling started pointing, voice cracking. "He assaulted me. Did you see that, Miller?" I asked. Miller shook his head, beaten. "No. He was just sitting there." I turned to Maya. She'd seen everything, eyes wide. "Are you okay?" She nodded, then finally broke down in tears. "Sergeant Harrison," I said. He snapped to attention. "Secure the scene. Take statements. Read Mrs. Sterling her rights." Sterling's power vanished in real time. She started sobbing. "You don't understand. I know people. I'll sue." I pulled out my phone and put it on speaker. "Mr. Henderson, you still on the line?" The club owner's voice came through, firm and cold. "I'm here, Sheriff." "Mrs. Sterling," he said, "you're fired. Effective immediately. Sheriff, trespass her permanently." Sterling collapsed as deputies lifted her to her feet and took her away. Maya was safe. The nightmare was done. Before leaving, deputies searched Sterling's office. The missing Rolex was found hidden in her desk drawer. She had staged everything. A power play. Breaking a young girl just to feel strong. The charges stacked up fast. Fraud. False report. Attempted unlawful imprisonment. The wealthy members, once her silent army, looked away. Back at the ranch, things finally felt normal. Maya sat beside me in the truck, staring at the dark sky. "Dad, that lady really hated me." "No," I said. "She hated that she couldn't control you. People like her think money is the law. When you said no, you shattered her world. She asked why I let them cuff me. Why I didn't stop it sooner. Sometimes," I said, "you let a bully dig their own hole before you take away the shovel. I took the hit so you'll never have to worry about them again." She smiled at last. "You looked pretty cool on whiskey. Like a movie." I laughed. "Don't tell your mother I rode a horse indoors." Our house lights glowed warm in the night. We were home. Justice isn't about a badge or a gun. It's about standing your ground when it matters. Real power isn't loud. Just being right. That's what I took home that night. A sheriff, sure. But more than that, a dad. A man who believes in doing the right thing even when it costs you. Karma? Yeah, sometimes it wears spurs. So let me ask you this. When someone in power tries to rewrite the rules, where do you draw the line? Do you stand your ground or walk away?